hand-breaded chicken fingers, fried to golden perfection with that flavor you know and love. At Zaxby's, you get the sauce. Dip, dunk, and drizzle with your choice of 12 different sauces like Zax sauce, tongue torch, and hot honey mustard. So if you want a whole lot of sauce, you need to find yourself a Zaxby's. Who's got the sauce?
Zaxby's.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, ETHOS, ethos.com/play.
This is Paul Feinbaum. That'll do it for me today. Coming up next, The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
From the University of Alabama, this is Crimson Tide Today. Its daily update on Bama sports, and it's brought to you by Guthrie's, America's original chicken finger restaurant and a proud partner of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Visit online at Guthrie'sChicken.com. Hello again, everybody. I'm Roger Hoover. After Alabama's 20-9 win on LSU on Saturday, head coach Kalen DeBoer met with the media.
It's always good to get a W. Definitely not satisfied with the way we played at times. Made enough plays to win. But certainly got to continue to prove, got to get back to work tomorrow. And our guys know that. Proud of the defense, holding them to field goals for red zone attempts and walking away with 9 points. It's a great job by those guys. Penalties, like what I see there. And then, turnover won the turnover battle. So obviously a big play there at the end. And, just there's some plays out there we got to make. And that will help a lot of our offense and defensively. Again, I thought we fought for 4 quarters. And so quietly just going out there, taking care of business and really locked in on anything.
I'll have more in a moment.
This year, we honor the most important anniversary ever. An event that reshaped civilization as we know it. A day that would lead to something so flawless that nothing could ever really compare. People have tried to match it, but have failed. This year, we celebrate the 60th anniversary of Guthrie's, the home of the original chicken finger. Just talking about it gets me all choked up. And hungry for a chicken finger. Guthrie's, an original obsession for 60 years.
Join us tonight for Crimson Tide Rewind, live from Baumhauer's Victory Grill in Vestavia Hills at 6 p.m. Central. You can listen to Crimson Tide Rewind across the radio network, the Varsity Network app, as well as catch a video replay on all CTSN social media platforms at UA_CTSN. Crimson Tide Today is brought to you by Guthrie's. Crimson Tide Today is a production of the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
In the market for a new or used car? Look no further than Hyundai of Decatur. With a large inventory of new, used, and certified pre-owned Hyundai models, Greenway Hyundai of Decatur is here to service all of your Hyundai needs. Come visit our exceptional service department as well. With state-of-the-art facilities and a caring team of automotive professionals waiting to service your vehicle, make Hyundai of Decatur your #1 choice for all your automotive needs. Give them a call today at 256-274-0279 or visit them online at greenwayhyundaiofdecatur.com.
You'll love the expanded wine selection at Liquor Express. From special occasion to everyday table wines, they've got what you need. Meet your friends at the largest tap wall in Alabama with 105 rotating selections. Then take home a growler full of your favorite or choose from our 1,000 canned or bottled beers. Need help stocking your bar or planning your party? Liquor Express has a knowledgeable, professional in-house staff that can assist you with anything from your bar to the planning of your special event. Visit liquorexpress.net for tasting specials, giveaways, and classes.
Tom Abraham here for my friend Mike Owen at Owen Home Appliance Center. Are those new school clothes wearing out that old washer and dryer? Well, it's time to get off the bus at Owen Home Appliance Center and learn what a new Speed Queen washer can do for you. They're in stock and are ready for delivery now. At Owen Home Appliance Center, quality products, quality pricing, quality service. It's right there in the name, Owen Home Appliance Center. 2 locations to serve you, Highway 36 in Somerville and the interactive location at Highway 231 in Lacey Springs, just 8 miles south of the river.
The Blitz with Joe Hunk and John Abraham. Weekday mornings starting at 9 a.m. on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone. This hour is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore. Welcome to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll. And I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
Well, words I never thought I'd utter to start any show. What an environment at Vanderbilt. I'm telling you, I was up there for the Auburn-Vanderbilt game on Saturday. The newly enclosed end zones. A very entertaining game. Very entertaining game. And what a comeback there for the Vanderbilt Commodores, winning in overtime. There's plenty to get to. Wes Neighbors is going to join us here in just a little bit, but right out of the gate, it's always fun talking football with Coach David Cutcliffe, who joins us right off the top of the Monday show. How are you, Coach?
I am good. I tell you, that was quite a football game in Nashville, and I've been up there as they have been working feverishly to finish that renovation. Obviously I've coached in that a few times in environment for many reasons, but one, winning like they're winning. Kudos to the staff and Clark Lee and those players.
Yeah, and Coach, it's as closely as I can follow this. I mean, it's each week is a life of its own. I was thoroughly impressed with what Georgia was able to do on the road at Mississippi State. What about you, Coach?
Oh, yeah, I was. You kind of, the name of what you call you guys show, The Drive here and The Zone, I'm driving a lot trying to find what zone I understand. I don't know if I understand any of it. I thought Georgia probably played their best game of the year. I don't think anyone should underestimate Mississippi State.
Yeah.
How hard and well they're playing, how well they're coached. I've seen them in person. It happens. Sometimes you can play as good as you could possibly play, and you still don't quite have enough points to win the game. But Georgia, separated from them and dominated in that football game.
They really did. And then Alabama keeps winning, and the last two games have not looked all that pretty, Coach, but W is a W. Is it?
Yeah, as long as you're doing, things well, and they are.
Yeah.
There's no question. But it's a tough thing right now. Every time you play a conference game, it's just so intense. And, I remember Coach Bryant always talking about more games are lost than won. And, with that thought, and I've always agreed with that through my entire career, I never took a win for granted. It meant that you didn't go out and do the things that lose you a close game.
Yeah.
In the end, they did the things that won a close game. The one thing you've got to do in November is get better, and that is critical to successful in. And it's just hard to read. I believe I am going to go in person to the Oklahoma-Alabama game because that's a bit historic for me. Those two programs in my lifetime are, top of the heap. And Jay Wilkinson, Bud Wilkinson's son, is a good friend of mine. And, so I have great respect for Coach, what he did at Oklahoma. And then we all know the history, or not all, but most of us here, particularly in the state of Alabama, know the history of the University of Alabama football program. So should be exciting.
Absolutely. The struggles running the football, I don't know if you've watched the All-22, Coach, or anything like that, but Alabama is really struggling running the football, Coach.
Yes, and I have watched it, and it's not one particular reason. I know Coach Saban brought it up on game day. I was watching them in the morning, and that was the one thing he brought up about the ball game. The biggest thing that Alabama has to do, in his opinion, is run the football. And there's various reasons, without a doubt. But that throws more and more pressure on Ty Simpson, from a perspective of making plays in the passing game, and doing the things that he's done really most all of the year. But they need to find that and get it clicking if you can in any way. Sometimes it's just not your year, whether it's the combination blocks, runs, and I haven't studied all of their personnel. I'm past that. I don't have to worry about doing that anymore. But I don't see, as just a casual look, one particular thing that I would throw it in the direction of.
Talking to Coach David Cutcliffe right now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. And if there is another issue that I'm hearing more and more from head coaches, it's officiating, Coach. I don't know how much you get in the SEC office week to week on this, but it feels like this is becoming a real issue with all the stakes that are involved, with everything that's involved, Coach.
I dive into it very deeply, and I'm not making excuses for our officials. Our officials, and often when I'm at a game, I'll ride in and out with them. They're very dedicated people. They're not full-time employees. They are graded so hard, measured so deeply. It's as thorough as a system can get. I think people forget this, and it's hard to find experienced officials. And to have enough experienced officials, no different than it is to try to have a roster of football players that are experienced enough.
Yeah.
One of the trends I'm seeing is that people don't want to get into officiating because you are beat up by instant replay. And now suddenly all the rest of us that watch TV see their mistakes. All the rest of us that watch TV, we hear, quote, experts telling us what was right or what was wrong. That's the biggest drama. So it's actually just good TV. And so I think we have to be very careful being judgmental. I've had some talks, not in our league, but with a couple of other friends about don't go there with officials. One of my statements that I believe deeply in, that I put together now, I don't know how many years ago, maybe 30, was this very simple statement: no excuses, no regrets. If you'll learn to get the excuses out of your life, you don't have to live with regrets. Take care of what's happening in that moment. Plan and think ahead. Always have a plan, but no excuses. Listen, yours truly has been hit hard by officiating at different points in my career. One was the loss of a game, the Duke-Miami game when I was at Duke. It was hard to swallow. An apology from the conference office doesn't really go a long way.
Yeah,
I get that. But what else can they do when the game's over? So the longer you focus as a fan or a coach or a player on what happened, it becomes a strong excuse. And then you start having regrets over and over in your life. So I'm really impressed with those people. They're very honest. I've had some guy had to stop him really quick. I was at a speaking engagement, came up, do you think the gambling has gotten to the officials? No. Absolutely not. That would show up in a heartbeat. And, if I sound like I'm tired of hearing that, I really am.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of gambling.
Yeah.
At all. And I'm not making excuses for those officials. This morning, I sat in a meeting for 2.5 hours, and I don't agree with every call. But what we have to do is learn from it, educate them, and move forward. And I doubt any of these actually truly cost a game, no matter what people say. I can show you 15 other plays that probably lost the game earlier.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. And then, like, my line coaches, when we got a call, and coach just didn't hold him, and they just wouldn't let go of it. You know what I did? I said to GA, I said, go downstairs and find 10 bad holds that we committed that didn't get called, and then let's put them on the screen.
Yeah.
And when I did that, that line coach would shut up. Don't talk to me about that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm serious. And Coach Bryant used to say, if you start getting caught up in officiating, you're doing everybody in your organization an injustice, and you're not representing the university properly, and you're distracting your staff and your team. You can't go there.
Wes,
and I can tell you multiple times I heard it.
Wes is on the phone line with us as well right now, Coach.
You know, Coach, so when you say that, I'll never forget the well-documented Penn State game. I was a freshman. We got ripped off up there.
Yep.
Coach Perkins said, don't let one game cost you to lose another.
That's it. It's the same
you can't worry
process.
about the officiating. That game's over. It happened. Now we got to just win the next one. Of course, y'all beat us the next week by 2 or 3 points, I think. No, that was the 35-28 game we've talked about when you ran the damn the counter option for a touchdown. On 3rd and 10.
Yep, that was 49 counter, just so you know. And but you know, it is and that is the truth. And I know fans don't want to hear me say that. That's why you're fans. You're always believing that you played better or that we were better than them. But you know, these are smart, dedicated men that love the game that do that role. And do they get hosed? Just watch TV. What people do, and then on top of that, now we're harsh at times. Hey, listen, there's not another commissioner like our commissioner that sits in there and studies officiating. I mean, we do that together every Monday morning. And I know it's after the fact, but all we can do is learn and teach. And then there are so many calls that are absolutely great calls that go on top of this, you know, that you view and look at. And it's a real process. But, you know, ever since the gambling issues have come so strongly into sport, you have to look at all of that to make sure that nobody has been compromised. And I have never seen that in my career.
Coach, I got to ask your reaction to the very first college football rankings that came out, because at least analytically, Texas A&M, in my opinion, should have been number one.
You know, we're prejudiced. I agree, but you know that there's some human factor to that. There's some preseason rankings that are hard to get past. Not saying that's right. But let's wait till the dust settles.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of, quote, a playoff. If they keep winning, an SEC team goes undefeated, they're going to be sitting in a catbird seat, one of the four.
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes, sir.
And so, you know, the challenge, and I don't want it to distract Texas A&M, and I'm certain Mike Elko has, you know, not let that happen. All they can think about is the game that's in front of them, period.
Yeah.
South Carolina's coming to town. Do you think South Carolina's easy? No, sir.
No.
So Lenore's is a heck of a player, quarterback, and can make plays from anywhere on the field. And, you know, they're a well-coached, good football team. And, it's just, it's hard to keep players as it is free from distraction, because I tell people I used to have noise when I was coaching, but it was mostly behind me. Nowadays, it's surround sound. Think about that.
You're
total
yeah.
surround sound. You're getting it in every direction. I'm like, good God, it used to be you guys, it was talk radio and the print, media, and then it escalated where television did have more impact. And wow, it's fun.
Yeah.
But, you can't get caught up in all of it.
Wes?
Yes.
I just wanted to make sure you got your questions in as well, because I got plenty.
Yeah. So, Coach, when you talk about the, this year we had a official that was suspended. How much that had to take a lot to do that?
I think when you're looking, when you're looking, Wes, at a particular, and I can't go into any details on any of this.
Right.
There was nothing shady. Okay.
Yeah.
There was just a bunch of circumstances that, not just from one particular game or one circumstance, that had kind of compiled over a couple of 3 years. So you just kind of leave it at that, if you will. And like I said, I haven't seen anything. That certainly wasn't a case of somebody doubting someone's character or their ethics or anything
I agree
along those lines.
Well, I watch the officials and know which ones I'm happy that call the games, and the ones I'm happy to call the games are the ones that are consistent. It's on both sides. It's not one of those things where I'm looking for any kind of favoritism. Just I want to see them let them play for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's really what you try to accomplish, is that you don't want laundry all over the field, so to speak. The more experienced officials know when a foul affects a play. People say you could technically almost call offensive line for holding every play. You could almost call holding in secondary every play.
Yeah.
But that's not what we need. And this goes back to that process of education and how much goes into it from the conference office. It's pretty phenomenal. And all of that video is studied tediously. So it's not ever good enough to do the best you can. That's realized. You have to be better than your best sometimes, and that's a difficult challenge, whether you're on the field officiating or whether you're educating officials.
Steve Shaw does these weekly videos. And by the way, I would encourage all fans to watch these weekly videos on YouTube. And I'm not sure if you watch them, Coach, but that the one issue that I would have is that more times than not, I have heard from Steve Shaw this year saying this rule is this with the exception of blank. There's always seems like there's always some kind of tweak around a rule. Why can't just something just simplify the game moving forward? That's one issue that I have, Coach.
Well, I think what you're saying is something that I am very much pushing. Is do you have a copy of the NCAA football rules book?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I do. Yes, sir.
Do you know how hard it is to read and how long it is?
Yes, sir, correct? I do. Yes.
What I want to see us do is form another group that manages all administrative issues, all of the things surrounding game management, even technology, where we can focus and teach officials a whole different concept is what's happening on the field. Total focus on the rules of the game. And you make it, here's the one thing I used to talk to supervisor of officials about all the time. And we did a good job of it for a long time. You need great communication between coaches and the people who run officiating and saying, okay, if you're going to officiate it this way, we've got to coach it this way. And then you also have to have, okay, if you guys are going to coach this way and you all want to do that, then this is how we're going to officiate the game. But you would focus on the playing rules. And it gets into so many gray circumstances. But if you took a group that totally focused on the playing rules themselves, it will get better.
Yeah.
And one of the things that we have continuously in college football are that consistently we see the laws of unintended consequences because we get in such a hurry to change things or rule on things. Slow it down a little bit. Slow and steady wins the race. And as we're looking at things, let's look a whole year out. I used to have always kept an office wherever I was down by the locker room and the equipment room. And I wanted to mingle in that area. But in my office, I had a big, huge wall that was a total grease board. And I would have 3 years of a calendar on that wall. And I would always look 3 years out. Wow. I recruited 3 years out. That was different then. There was no portal. But you focused on change that you knew was legitimate and solid. And I think we get in such a hurry with so many hands in the fire that, it's frightening. So I would love to do what I just said. Separate management. I go to game management meetings as well. And it's important. And those people do a great job. But let's leave the officials out of that.
Here.
Let's focus on playing the game of football. And again, how can we cleanly officiate it, like you said, Wes? All right. We just want consistency both ways.
Yeah.
And if you clean the rule book up, then it's easier to train young officials. True?
Absolutely.
So that's
Coach,
yes.
Well, you mentioned change. Is there anything in what's all going on in college football? Do you see anything on the horizon that might, I guess, simplify, like players staying in one spot for longer than 1 year?
Well, yeah, I don't. That's hard to speak to. I had a conversation with some compliance people today. The SCORE Act that you hear about in D.C.
Yeah.
Of course, I've lost my trust. Every time we do something, somebody counters it with a lawsuit.
Yeah.
But I think the first thing for me personally, it is worth for the well-being of young people is to give a one-time exception at the most of transfer and immediate eligibility. And if we did that, it would make it a more thoughtful transfer, obviously.
Yeah.
And, the whole goal of this thing, think about it. When you came through and every player that came through, the goal was, man, you worked hard to make sure you made the right decision in recruiting. And once you were there, yes, playing was a big part of it, but also just excelling in every aspect of your life, growing as a young man, growing as a student, valuing education and the educational process. There's so few future professional football players that are going to make their money playing football. Yeah. And that's a much better process over a period of time. And that's how you defined a successful decision in recruiting.
Coach,
4 or 5 years later. Yes,
yeah,
sir.
I wanted to at least play this for you. This was Lane Kiffin earlier today. There is a reason. I don't know if you've heard this already. This was today's press conference in Oxford, Mississippi, sir.
Oxford High School has a playoff game this week. Do you help Knox prepare at all? And if so, how does that prep look the same or different from what you tell your quarterbacks at Ole Miss?
That's a better question than yours. I don't much. I stay out of it. I think Coach Cutcliffe does a great job with the team, with the offense, with the quarterbacks specifically. and I just was never going to be that parent because I've dealt with a lot of parents like that, especially that position. So I try to be the refreshing quarterback parent. And at the end of the game last week, in some situations, I was like 20 yards away from Cutcliffe, and it took everything not to say, hey, man, like run this ball to the right here because the field goal, like I don't even do that, even as a head coach. So I'm just excited that he gets the opportunity to play. They got such a cool team, and they have all these comebacks, and it was just awesome to watch.
That is Lane Kiffin, Coach. I was wondering if you had a reaction to that.
Well, I was standing with him some of that game. I drove over and back that night to see that game, and that secured them winning the region and the number 1 seed, and they've had a great year. And Chris is a better Coach Cutcliffe than I am, and Knox is a 10th grader, and he's getting better and better and better. But I was impressed that Lane wasn't over there sweating like some QB dads I've been around at times, and so that's refreshing to hear. And I think he does realize that Chris Cutcliffe knows what he's doing, and they've got a really good football team, and he's got bigger fish to fry as well. Don't you think?
Yeah. That's pretty cool though, Coach. And
that is really cool.
Yeah. And
well, I'm proud of my son, and he should be proud of his. He's getting better every snap. And what Chris has loved is his attitude and his eagerness, and he's also really embraced being a great teammate as a transfer in there. And he is 1,000% bought in, and it's really, they are a fun team. They're definitely a team, and I think Lane sees that and realizes that.
That's cool, Coach. And there's nothing quite like Friday Night Lights.
Oh, it's the purest form of football we have this day and time, as you know. And they got a really good 10th grade receiver. I went also to the Ole Miss South Carolina game a couple of weeks ago, and I saw Knox and Kevin at that game, and we had some good laughs and great talk. And Knox Kiffin is a great-looking young man with a humble spirit, and I do nothing but wish him really well.
Well, it is such a cool moment. I mean, I can't even imagine from your perspective, Coach, of seeing him as the head coach there at Oxford High in Oxford, Mississippi, and it's is this year 2 or 3 for Chris in Oxford?
No, year 10.
Year 10?
He's already won one state championship, played for another one. They had never won one. And I'll tell you this, and I'm going to have to go, but listen, when they got rid of me, they thought they got rid of the Cutcliffes out of Oxford. They ran me out of there. Well, he's got 7 little boys. So guess what, Oxford? You've got some Cutcliffes for a while.
It's 7. 7. Wow.
7
that's
little boys. Ooh. Not all little. Shivers, the oldest, is 14, and we go down to 6 months. So we could overthrow the Oxford government, I'm afraid, so we're there.
Taking on Germantown this week, from what I'm reading in front of me, Coach.
No.
Was that last week?
They got Hernando. They've already beat Germantown earlier in the season. They have Hernando, who actually won a game and scored a bunch of points and attempted 1 pass.
Oh.
So you think that one's going to be physical?
That'll be a lot of fun right there.
Yeah, well, Knox may attempt 40. I don't know. That's okay.
Always fun talking some football. And I wanted to get to the 9 conference deal, but I just, because in the back of my mind, I just.
Let's just wait a year and let it roll. And it's not going to change. We are what we are.
Yes, sir.
What we are is the entertainment business.
Yes, sir.
And it's hard for me to get used to that, and I get it. But there will be some positive things that come out of that. I don't know this. I don't get in these discussions, but that could increase the number of teams in a playoff. It may make some automatic qualifiers more real. I don't think it's going to hurt the Southeastern Conference in the long run. It may give us an opportunity to have even more in there.
Are we going to hear anything from the playoff committee coming up about what they're doing pretty soon,
I
Coach?
don't think so soon, because you're so overwhelmed.
Yes, sir.
I've talked to a couple of people that work there, and they're just overwhelmed with trying to make sure their process is what it should be right now.
Nothing wrong with that.
And I'll tell you, the director I think is really exceptional. He is. Most of the big time people I've met, whether it was business or politics, the most impressive of all the great leaders that I've been blessed to meet, the higher end military people are it. I'm telling you, it's amazing. They're committed to leadership. And I really am impressed with him and what he's doing. And he also played for a guy named Fisher DeBerry, who I just love. So one of the more quality people I've ever known in the coaching business.
I can't thank you enough for the time. And it was, it just, when Lane went there, you could tell he later talked about not trying to be a helicopter parent a little bit more. And it just kind of warmed my heart. And I thought you might enjoy hearing that, speaking about your son in particular, Coach.
Well, and I hadn't heard that. So thank you for playing that. I appreciate it. I'm very proud of Chris Cutcliffe, and I'm certainly proud of what Lane Kiffin, Monty, and I were good friends. Yeah. And, he would always, say, Cut, man, you got a chance now. You can really help Lane. I said, Monty, I got to try to help them all, but I'm going to try to love all of them. I promise you that.
There's 7 more Cutcliffes on the way there, Oxford, Mississippi.
They're rolling, man. Just be careful.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it.
Take care. All righty. Bye-bye.
That is David Cutcliffe there on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. That is a really cool story. In fact, the fact that you've got Knox Kiffin quarterbacking for Chris Kiffin, who has been there since 2016. And it's, wow, what a story there for the Cutcliffe family and the Kiffins as well. As I see, I don't know if this is updated as of this moment, but their district record is 5-0. 9-1 is what I've got the Oxford Chargers at this season. As at least here in Alabama, we're heading into week 2 of the playoffs, and we will have Madison Academy football for you coming up this Friday, as they will be on the road at undefeated Anniston. It's the Mustangs and Bulldogs, and actually Joe Hunk is filling in for me because I'll be in Fort Lauderdale with UAH Charger basketball as they're tipping it up against some team called Nova. As they're probably going to hang the banner right in front of me. Yeah. National championship for Nova. Anyway, that'll be a lot of fun. Yeah, you can hear the UAH Charger basketball game this Friday. First half and the whole game will be on Talk Radio WZZN. As soon as Paul is done at 5, we'll join it in progress. It'll probably be just start of the second half between UAH and Nova, and I'll try to occupy as much of the 5 o'clock hour as I possibly can.
Too much game for one radio station. It really
exactly. Is. So you'll get both. You'll get the second half on both here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone as well as on Talk Radio WZZN. But then you'll have high school football that night, and then it's also the final Woody Anderson Ford Friday night scoreboard show powered by Lake Gunnersville Ace Hardware. Scott Tyson and the whole crew has done a fantastic job all season long.
He's up to 17 interns now. He really is.
We're
doing stadium seating here in the back of the studio.
It takes an army. It takes a village there for that show to congeal and...
Yeah, congeal. That's the word I was looking for. Like a fine gelatin.
So did Wes depart?
He's swapping out the squirrel in the little. He's swapping out the mouse in the cage.
Okay,
So once you get to new mouse in the wheel, we'll be ready to go. He's
really appreciate David Cutcliffe for joining us. That normally, if you do listen to us, you're used to Jerry Glanville. He is coaching today down in Miami. Some kids that looking to make some big paychecks in the National Football League. So that is why
I want to learn from.
That is exactly right. So for those of you that want to go to the Army-Navy game, you might want to pay attention to this break. And this is going to happen from now until I think probably the 24th, maybe. I'm guessing.
We'll have plenty of chances for you to win, but you got one coming just sooner than you think.
Yep. So just stand by if you'd like to go to the Army-Navy game. It's on my bucket list. But if you know someone as well, this is for this year. You might want to listen to this next break as well. I've got plenty of audio to get to from Kirby Smart as well as Kalen DeBoer. I've already played a little bit of Lane Kiffin, but Brent Venables had a thing or two to say on Alabama offensively as well. It is the Monday edition of The Drive. We'll be right back.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is your opportunity to register to win a pair of Army and Navy football tickets to this year's game, courtesy of Higher Echelon. All you have to do is answer this question correctly to get registered, and you'll be registered to win a pair of tickets to this year's Army-Navy football game. Today's question: who won last year's Army-Navy football game? 256-576-4977. 256-576-4977. Good luck.
Does it really matter which dealership you buy from? Short answer, yes it does. Hello, I'm Don Wessels for Woody Anderson Ford. Before you buy, take just a minute to check out the dealership itself, because where you buy can make all the difference. Sure, customer reviews tell you what others think, and that's good. But when Ford Motor Company itself recognizes a dealer, that's something special. Woody Anderson Ford has earned Ford's Triple Crown Award, an honor achieved by only the top 1% of Ford dealers in America. It's based on superior customer satisfaction, sales excellence, and exceptional service performance. In other words, the best of the best. So when you're ready for your next car, truck, or SUV, come see how we earned our Triple Crown status. Superior service, sales excellence, over-the-top delivery, that's Woody Anderson Ford. And we hope to see you soon.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at All About Water. Crazy name, huh? Well, let me introduce you to them. All About Water is the top pond builder anywhere in the Tennessee Valley, and that includes remodeling or cleaning out existing ponds as well. They also have monthly maintenance plans for your pond. Don't have a pond? Well, how about a fountain or water feature for your property to bring that soothing sound of running water to your happy place? On the other hand, maybe you have water on your property that you don't want. Well, Ryan at All About Water is all about water, so he could take care of that as well. He has a background in fluid dynamics, and what that means is that he could take care of any water issue that you have. Finally, how about that irrigation system that you have or that you want? Well, they do installs and maintenance and repairs on those as well, because they are all about water. Learn more at allaboutwaterllc.com. That's allaboutwaterllc.com.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
If hunting and outdoor recreation are your passions, it all starts with the right property. That's where I come in. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction. a hunting and recreational land specialist and a Jackson County native who sees land through a hunter's eyes. Just as you trust your guide on a big game hunt, you can trust me to find the perfect property for you. Thinking of selling? Let me help you make your land attract buyers. Remember, Bo knows land. Call me at 256-609-0512.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed cracks in your drywall, chimney, or exterior walls? I hope not, because if you have, they could be indications that you've got a much bigger problem with your foundation. That's where AFS comes in, a groundworks company. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to stabilize your foundation. Schedule your free inspection at afsrepair.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
This segment of The Drive is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, located online at woodyAndersonFord.com with 2 locations, Hughes Road in Madison and Jordan Lane in Huntsville.
So one thing that I have started doing while watching these press conferences pretty much all day Monday, I started grading questions. You know, what media group is asking the best questions, be it Alabama, Auburn. By the way, it's bye week this week for the Auburn Tigers, so that's why we did not get DJ Durkin. And Texas, I watched Texas, Ole Miss for obvious reasons. Georgia, well, you know, that's very obvious of why I pay attention to that. Tennessee, of course, with Josh Heupel. But Kirby Smart, he was asked about this team beating Texas. And as soon as I heard the phrasing of the question that this team beat Texas, I knew what was coming from Kirby.
Yeah, this team didn't beat Texas. That team, and this Texas hasn't played this team of ours. So 2 completely different teams, in my opinion. So I think it has zero effect on it.
So then the reporter pivoted to a Steve Sarkisian team.
Explosive.
Oh, wait a second.
Explosive.
I mean, if you know this show in particular, if you start with explosive.
Explosive.
It only means one thing.
Limit explosive plays. And
I mean, yeah, it's going to happen every time.
Explosive, attacking, window dressing. They've got a lot of shifts, motions. They employ tempo, and they'll go fast on you. And they do a really good job of mixing things up and creating a lot to work on defensively.
Evidently, Kirby was texting Steve Sarkisian Saturday morning as they were driving down, I think it's probably 62, from Tupelo down to Starkville. And by the way, that's a long way. It's a long way. And Steve Sarkisian knows exactly what I'm talking about as well.
Yeah, he did text me Saturday morning. We're in a couple different group chats together, and Kirby and I do text periodically. But he was on that ride from Tupelo down to Starkville, which I had just done, obviously, a couple of years ago. And that's one unique thing about the SEC. It's like, man, you always want to try to stay close to stadiums, but it's hard to do that in our conference, the way some of these towns are set up. And so he checked in with what I was doing. I said, well, I just got to work out, about have breakfast and watch you play, bud. So good luck, see how it goes. But, again, I think honestly our relationship's probably gotten closer since we've been in the league. We have more things to talk about. I think one thing about him being the head coach at Georgia and myself being the head coach at Texas, I think that we have an opportunity to be influential on trying to do what's best for our game, not only in our conference, but in the state of college football. And I think us being aligned on as many issues as we can be aligned on, I think is good for the sport. And so we try to do that. And we're not going to agree on everything. Obviously, he's a defensive head coach, so he's trying to get all the rules in favor of the defense. I'm trying to get him in favor of the offense. But in the end, I have a ton of respect for Kirby and the job that he does and the way that his teams play the game. And so a ton of respect for him. I always love competing against him. It's a great challenge, and this week's no different.
Who needs to be number one in the CFP rankings come tomorrow night? Lane Kiffin was asked that in particular. By the way, I know I kind of set this up with grading the questions per people that I listen to. Oxford, Mississippi, right now is at the top of the class.
I asked you last week, so I'm just a little curious now that the first CFP rankings are out, where you guys were, where the league was. Were you encouraged by that?
I think in some ways a little bit, but, I think that some other people have pointed out, in other ways, no, like, Texas A&M being 3, well, what more do you want them to do to be 1? Like I said, when people want to schedule and they say, okay, man, we need you to schedule hard teams. You're going to have now 9 SEC and then play another hard one. Well, they went up to Notre Dame and won. So those people that say, man, those schedules are worth it to play that. What if they didn't play Notre Dame? If they just played whoever and just had an easy win, they'd be ranked in the same spot. So what good did that do if that's not rewarded? So they got the highest metrics of everybody and they're not number 1. So I don't know. Again, you talk about those 2 teams right there, put them on a neutral site, ask Vegas who would win, what's the spread. And that to me shows more than people sitting around a room just guessing.
It's hard not to agree with Lane Kiffin. Really hard.
On that anyway, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think back to when Alabama lost 2 games by 1 point and would have been favored of all 4. Of course, I always go back to Alabama.
Yeah.
But Lane has a great point. I mean, to me, right now, it doesn't matter. Ohio State's a good football team. Texas A&M is a really good football team. It really doesn't matter to me. It's all going to take, like Coach Cutt said, it's all going to take care of itself.
Yep.
What a great interview. What a great man.
Absolutely.
I did not know his son was coaching. That is cool.
Yeah.
7 kids. Now I knew 4 people at the game.
Yeah.
I know Coach Cutt was there when it was me and Shula and Brent Soule and Coach Cutt at the same game, and I didn't talk to any of them. That's wild. Anyway, but it's just I get it's fun to talk about. Texas A&M to me should be number 1, no doubt.
Yeah.
But at this point, it really doesn't matter. And listen, Ohio State's a really good football team, and I don't know, maybe they might be favored. Maybe they would have them as favorite.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We do need to take our final timeout, but Lane was asked this question.
Another thing I'm curious about is what are the aspects that make up a good job for a college head coach? What's the top of your priority list?
I got to answer to that. Winning. That's all that matters in the end to anybody anymore.
I'm going to let you hear what Lane had to say on the other side, because there is plenty of, I'm sure, athletic directors that are going, yeah, what's he saying here? What's he saying here? So we'll play what Lane had to say. Final call for phone calls as well. Monday edition of The Drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Does it really matter which dealership you buy from? Short answer, yes it does. Hello, I'm Don Wessels for Woody Anderson Ford. Before you buy, take just a minute to check out the dealership itself, because where you buy can make all the difference. Sure, customer reviews tell you what others think, and that's good. But when Ford Motor Company itself recognizes a dealer, that's something special. Woody Anderson Ford has earned Ford's Triple Crown Award, an an honor achieved by only the top 1% of Ford dealers in America. It's based on superior customer satisfaction, sales excellence, and exceptional service performance. In other words, the best of the best. So when you're ready for your next car, truck, or SUV, come see how we earned our Triple Crown status. Superior service, sales excellence, over-the-top delivery. That's Woody Anderson Ford. And we hope to see you soon.
Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com.
It's an amazing time in our industry. Things are changing so rapidly. With digital signatures and workflow software, we help our customers work from anywhere. This helps you save time and money and upgrade your technology. Like I said, it's an amazing time to watch our customers grow and succeed.
Just ask anyone. The Liosi Group.
There's power in caring when it is put into action. Each year, our bankers serve on nonprofit boards, support our local educators, and volunteer with our hometown food bank. I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryan Bank, and community service is just not a line item in our mission statement, it's who we are. Because after all, Alabama is our home too. That kind of commitment to community might not be what you would expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give us a call or stop by one of our 2 offices in the Huntsville area and experience unbeatable service and legendary results.
Bryan Bank Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 2428943, member FDIC.
Your customers deserve the best, and so do you. You invest in your customers with your heart, soul, and skill. Well, it's time to invest in yourself with the next generation Cat 255 compact track loader from Thompson Tractor. After all, those who give their best deserve the best, and this machine has it all. With features that include a more powerful engine, tri-axle truck loading capabilities, a spacious cab, and a smooth ride for all-day comfort. Best of all, now Thompson Tractor is making that investment even better with our Workhorse Special. Get 0% financing for 36 months on the purchase of a new Cat 255 compact track loader that comes with a 3-year warranty. You also get a 74-inch bucket and 1,000-hour filter kit. Great news! This offer is now extended through the end of December. Visit ThompsonTractor.com for details. Thompson Tractor. We're here for you.
Your Fox 54 weather.
On Fox 54, meteorologist Emily Owen, another below freezing night expected across the Tennessee Valley. We'll see temperatures in the low 20s for this Monday night. We'll continue to sit under clear sky heading into Veterans Day. Temperatures warm into the upper 40s, lower 50s, and we'll continue to see plenty of sunshine.
Your Fox 54 weather, only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. Only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The latest college football ranking show is tomorrow at 6 o'clock Central. So you know what this means. You're going to be able to hear it right here during the drive. I am trying to coordinate with Trevor Matich, like what we've done in the past, for immediate feedback to get Trev on right after. I'm trying.
Well, hey, Trevor's a busy guy.
He is.
He's all over ESPN.
But hopefully we'll hear from Trevor Matich after the rankings are revealed. Lane Kiffin, what are you looking for in a job? Maybe the one you got, maybe the one you don't got.
I wasn't ready for that one. I think that's evolved and changed, and there's different things in it. I've said to you guys a couple years ago, I think, and this was before Cap, but I said, I think that it's going to move to, people used to say, okay, you know, when people wanted to hire you or something and interview and what questions do you have? What are your concerns? Okay. People used to say, you know, facilities, how many practice fields, you know, those things. And I said, I don't think I think that's changed, is going to change, and it's going to be how much NIL do you have? When it was all collective, how is your collective? How's it run? How much do you have? Because that's before this, that was the salary cap, meaning that's how much money you're going to have. And I know some people sometimes think, well, okay, that's not a big deal, but just look at professional sports when it's not the same like baseball and the payrolls. And over time, who wins and who doesn't win. And somebody may have outlier years once in a while, and so now that's a little equaled out, but there's still, how much are you giving to Rev, to your football program? And then how much do you have collective wise? I think it's a big question, but people will talk about it's narrowed, like I heard Coach Saban say, and some stuff has narrowed, as I've referred to, because you can't stockpile, at those, whatever blue bloods you want to call it or refer to it. But there's still things there that you're still going to struggle to beat those guys because kids are still recruited and they see size of stadiums and tradition and Heisman's and national championships and then your location, to talent. So I think all those are in there, but it's slid a little time over, I think when that question probably early was that what is your assistant coach's pool? Now is what is your player pool?
That is Lane Kiffin, and what makes a good job for him?
Well, I mean, NIL supposed to be all the same everywhere. But apparently that's not the case, or he wouldn't be talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so, that's interesting. I don't know. I'd be surprised. Well, I need to say this. Nothing Lane Kiffin does has ever surprised me. I mean, anything he would do would be wouldn't shock me. Well, all that being said, I don't think he's going anywhere. And I think Coach Saban said the same thing.
Yeah.
That I think that Lane's at the right spot for him to win. And this will be the first time, if they were able to win Saturday and beat Florida, it'd be the first time in history they'd won 10 games in a row.
Is it really?
Yes. So in 3 years in a row, 10 games, 3 years in a row.
Okay.
Yeah. I might have misspoke, but they that's just interesting. They've won 11 games. They're making checking a bunch of boxes that Ole Miss has never checked.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's taking pride in it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, somebody might wave something in his face that he can't, he can't turn down. But, I kind of think that he's going to stay. I might be totally wrong, but that's the feeling I'm getting anyway.
Yeah. I know Auburn, 3 years ago, was a very real push, but him staying, I think, and you can, especially that last little 30 for 30 that Ryan McGee did on him. I tend to agree. The only, maybe an NFL job, maybe.
I don't know. The NFL. So, what you got to look at, Steve, is there's 32 really good teams, and nobody can outwork somebody.
Yeah.
Really, it's hard to.
Yeah.
Because, and are they going to let Lane do the draft? Why would he do that?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I think now I think he's in a perfect spot. And the other thing is Knox is a sophomore.
Yeah. Yeah. That's going to wrap us up. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Crimson Tide Rewind next.
Tom Luganville here from my friends at the service department at Woody Anderson Ford. When you need service on your vehicle, whether it's a Ford or any other make,